Hello guys, it's Sun Gaming and today I'm reacting to AI Girl is sent to school as an experiment by Dhar Mann Studios. Anyways, let's begin, shall we?
Alice, there you are. It's okay. She's our guest. Alice is the new AI robot I've been working on for the last several months.
So this is what you've been spending all your time on.
Alice is unlike any other robot because she can actually feel real human emotions. Well, not right now because she's in her learning phase where she observes the world around her and collects data. She can't actually feel anything just yet. Watch. Hey, Alice, you know you're just a stupid computer, right?
Dad, stop!
It's fine. I'm enrolling her at Brookside High, and you know how mean kids can be these days. She needs to get used to it.
Wait, she's going to school with me?
Yeah, all of the faculty are aware that she's a robot, but none of the students will know. It's part of the experiment.
Hey, that's private! Give it to me!
Our battery must be getting low.
Oh, what's going on here?
How long is the battery? Because depending on how long it is, the experiment is totally useless. And second, the school faculty agreed to do this. I am honestly surprised. Like, why would they want to get involved with any of this? You know what? Okay, at this point, I'm going into opinion territory instead of fact territory. So,
Can't remember the last time you took me shopping for clothes, but sure, let's take the robot.
Alice doesn't really have any clothes yet.
Martha, what should I pick out? What kinds of things do girls at school wear?
Hey, Mark, want to go to the arcade after this?
I'm not really in the mood.
But you're literally always playing video games. Come on, it'll be fun.
Yes!
Hey, Dad, what if we go catch a movie after this? There's a theater down the street.
I'm sorry, I have some research reports I have to go over.
Why are you all looking at me like that?
I'm sorry. Did we just go forward a couple of months because she looks like she's going to summer, not winter.
Alice, are you feeling awkward? It's working!
Come on.
I feel awkward again. Why is everyone staring at me?
They're staring at you because you're pretty.
Martha, you should compete for that. I saw that in your journal. Poetry? I saw all the poetry trophies around your room. Did I just make you feel awkward?
Let's find your locker. Come on.
That thing is learning pretty quickly. I can say things since it's technically a robot, so I don't think that robot would technically count as a female, would it? Huh? But like, you know what, might as well regard it as a female for now, so essentially, like, she's learning that quickly. Like, it's only been a day or two at most. Even then, I doubt it's been like that. I think it's more of a full day and maybe a bit of the next day. So, like, she already learned, went from having no emotions to having some emotions that quickly? Really? And second, like, I have so many questions. This is the type of thing where, like, you have to turn your brain off for it to work. Like, you're telling me that man managed to create a whole robot? Seriously? He seriously managed to create a whole robot? Well, tell me then, how long is the battery life? It has to last a full day after all. And I have another question. How will the robot heal? Humans can heal after a period of time, and if necessary, they use medications. But like, what will the robot do after all? from what I can see, I don't think it has genetic material. Or like I would say natural material. Like I don't know what the word for it is. Like I forget the word for it, but like it basically has the genetic material. I don't think that robot has it. Like that thing raises way too many questions for its own good. Anyways, let's continue, huh?
Here you go. 105. Open it, and you can put your books. Oops, I didn't see you there. You're easy to miss. Mark, I could have used some backup. Hello?
Hmm?
Forget it.
Got him. Got him. There he is.
Martha's cousin Alice will be joining us for the remainder of the year. Everyone, make sure to give her a warm bookside welcome.
How can someone that perfect be related to her?
All right, class. We're going to begin our poems. Let's start with Chelsea. You come up first.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Everyone's jealous. I'm cuter than you.
I admire your confidence, but how about something a little more original next time? Next up,
I'll give her this. It at least sounds good and has kind of a rhyme scheme. It isn't that bad. I'll give her that because I honestly expected something horrible. Maybe it's just my expectations.
let's have Martha share.
Do I have to?
Come on, it's no big deal.
Mr. Jones, why don't you share a poem for her?
Sure. I miss her warm hugs and her sunny smile. I haven't seen her in quite a long while. Time moves us further and further apart. A great big darkness has crept into my heart. Amazing job, Mark. You're an excellent poet. Chelsea, I want you to take note of her use of emotion and personification. It's a great example of poetic language.
Yeah, an example of how to be emo. Sorry, my mom didn't die. Leave me with something depressing to write about.
Chelsea, that is unacceptable. Apologize to Martha.
Yeah, it's very clear that the lesson of bullies are suffering themselves, so they let it out on their colleagues. If that's true for her case, because some people are just terrible for the sake of terrible. They don't need to have a reason. But if she had a reason, like, come on, no matter what the reason for you bullying her is, it does not justify passing off her mother dying like that. Like, genuinely, why would you? You know what? Why am I even criticizing her? That's the point. The point is that that woman hates her and bullies her. Anyways, let's continue, huh?
I'm sorry.
With these writing skills, you have a good shot at winning that poetry competition in 2 weeks. But you'll have to be able to present them on stage yourself.
Martha can't even speak in front of a whole class, never mind a whole auditorium. I'm definitely gonna take first place.
Hey, dinner's ready. I made lasagna. It's not as good as Mom used to make, but I tried my best.
Yeah, I'll take a plate to my office.
I'm in the middle of a game, but I'll take some in the room.
Well, I was actually thinking we could eat together. Great. Another night eating alone.
I can't eat, but I can sit and pretend if you want.
Better than eating here by myself.
So why were those girls at school mean to you?
Okay, now you're raising a lot of questions. Like, here's the problem when you present an AI robot or whatever as a character, especially if it's an actual robot. It's because, like, when it's a robot that's supposed to mimic human behavior completely, essentially act like another human, so many questions will be posed. Like this is one of the few videos where if you really want to enjoy it without questioning anything, you will have to turn your brain off, because the inclusion of an AI robot that's supposed to act like a full-on human makes me raise so many questions. Like, for example, you're telling me she can't eat. Like, how much of her is like a human and how much of her isn't? Like, okay, she can't eat, so does she have a stomach or something like the like? Like, what does she have exactly? And second, how does she heal? Like, it's not like she's just a robot. What, does he replace the parts? Does he paint her? What the heck does he do to I guess repair her? Because it's not like she can heal naturally like us humans can. So, like, you see how many questions I can raise? Like, this is the problem with logic when it comes to whole AI that acts like humans. Like, most stories get away with it because most of them are set in sci-fi and stuff like that, and they usually explain most of the stuff that you'd ask about. But this one, it happens in the modern day, and they barely explain a thing. Like, come on, you guys can see very clearly what I'm talking about, right? Like, like, there are even more questions I can ask, but of course I'm wasting your time at this point. So let's continue, huh?
They think they're better than me because they're popular and I'm just a nerd.
So they're jealous of you because you're more talented and smart than they are?
You should watch Mean Girls sometime.
That's why on cool summer nights, I cry as I watch birds take flight.
Thank you. Wonderful. Next up, Martha. Don't worry. It's just a rehearsal. You can do this.
What was the point of making the thing 2 weeks away? Like, usually when I hear that an event for a character is a good amount of time away, let's say 2 weeks for this example, I would expect like a whole arc and, like, events leading up to that event. But nope, they just straight up go with it, don't they? I'll give them this. They subverted my expectations. I'll give them that at the very least. Anyways, let's continue.
So scared.
She looks like she's gonna be sick. Nice performance yesterday, Martha.
You don't stand a chance at the actual competition.
Wait, that was just a rehearsal? If that's the case, then it honestly makes a lot more sense, because, like, if you guys have been watching Dhar Mann for a while, you know that when he introduces an event that's gonna happen after a period of time, usually a long one, like a week or two, or maybe even more, you know that the whole story is gonna revolve around events that lead up to that event. Like, he's been doing this for a while now, so I would be surprised if he subverted that. Anyways, might as well continue, huh? What? 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 You know what? I might as well say it because it's honestly gonna become annoying if I keep this up. Like, you're telling me a throw from a small freaking ball was enough to make her bleed, and not even bleed a little bit in the nose. Straight up bleed enough so that it goes to her mouth and into her chin. Like, how is that possible? Like, first of all, the fact that it took the fact that it was this short is honestly a surprise in of itself, because even if a nose bleeds, I don't think it would be an instant. Like, it would be a slow thing. And second, even if it wasn't, how would a throw from a small ball make her bleed? Genuinely, how? You're making the human body look like it handles much less than it can. Like, trust me. I can have that ball thrown to my face like she had, and I wouldn't feel a thing. Or, like, I would feel pain, maybe, but it wouldn't go as far as making me bleed. because that ball cannot transfer enough force to make my nose bleed, especially when you consider that unlike something like a needle or a knife, the thing doesn't focus force on a very specific point that can easily go through. No, it's spread apart, which means that the force won't feel as bad. So yeah, that injury is totally exaggerated. If anything, it should be non-existent. Anyways, let's continue.
Alice, thanks for having my back in gym class today.
Can I ask you a question, Martha? What were you doing in your bedroom that night when we first met? I'm not sure what it was, but it hurt me right here.
Sometimes I I feel like life isn't worth living.
Well, what makes life worth living?
Life is full of both pleasure and sorrow. We never know what will happen tomorrow. Creating, laughing, learning, forgiving. Love is what makes life worth living. Some people make their whole lives about work or video games, but love is what makes life worth living. And I just haven't felt loved in a while.
When was the last time?
Probably a few years ago. You see, my mom was always the one who brought us all together.
I'm sorry, you're telling me a few years? I don't want to downplay the trauma or the effect or whatever it would be called of her mother passing away, but like, genuinely think about it. You're telling me they haven't moved on in a couple of years? Like, if this story were to happen, let's say a few months after her mother's death, that would have made more sense. But if a few years, at this point, I would say that these two, both the son and the dad, are pretty much bad people to her. Like, they are really mean to her at this point, because you're telling me that her dad and her brother do not want to be with her at all. They want to stay to their own respective things, even after a couple of years. Are you genuinely kidding me? Like, again, I do not want to downplay the effect that the mother's death had on them, but like, again, genuinely think about it. You're telling me they haven't moved on or changed anything at all since she died? Which was a few years ago, and I haven't specified the number, but like, even if it was only 1 or 2 years, you should be able to move on eventually. You know what I mean? The more the story goes on, the more it feels more and more unbelievable. We go from the injuries to the robot that makes me question how it exists, to them over exaggerating the effect that a loved one's death can have on a person. Like, again, I don't want to seem like I'm downplaying her mother's death. Of course it's tragic. Of course it would have a huge effect on them, considering, like she said, her mother was the one who brought them together. But again, it's been a few years now. Can't you move on? Like, everyone moves on eventually. Are you telling me after a few years you still haven't moved on? At this point, I would say these two are at fault. It's not just that the mother's death had such an effect on them, because again, you should be able to move on eventually. Like, you're telling me, in a couple of years or like a few years that happened, you generally did not think of staying together as a family, like, at all. Like, do you guys see why it seems unbelievable that this story could happen? Because the more time passes, the more stuff happens that just can't happen. Like, again, I understand. People process effects like of a loved one's death and stuff like that, especially if it's someone really close, like a parent, very differently, and it can take them a while to move on. But like, you're telling me in a few years, these two, the father and the son, have not changed at all? They haven't changed one bit? That I find hard to believe. Anyways, let's continue.
We used to have movie nights every week. They were my favorite. We'd have family game nights too. Mark always won. And Mom was an amazing cook. She used to make her famous lasagna with extra cheese. We'd have dinner together every single night as a family. When I competed in poetry competitions, Mom would always make sure they were front and center. I felt so confident seeing her cheering for me in the audience. I felt lucky to have such a supportive family. I used to sit by her bedside and read her my poems. But then Mom got really sick. I always hoped she'd get better, but I realized after she passed that she really was the glue that held our family together. My dad threw himself into his work, and my brother became obsessed with his video games. Our family was never the same. So you see, that was the last time I felt loved. And that's why I'm dropping out of the poetry competition. My mom was always my biggest supporter. And I can't face my stage fright alone. Alice, were you even listening?
Yes, I was listening. Sorry. I don't want you to feel alone, Martha.
So what? I take my brother or my dad? They won't go. They're always too busy for me.
Well, what about me?
Okay, I kind of understand. Like, again, I honestly blame her dad and her brother for not moving on. Like, genuinely, just move on. It's been a few years now. Anyways, let's continue.
Me. I'll be there for you.
It just won't be the same.
Just give me a chance.
Oh, yeah, you'll definitely win. Because I hear Martha dropped out.
Oh, wait.
Thanks again for helping me and for being here. It's been nice not feeling so lonely these past 2 weeks. To be honest, you kind of remind me of my mom in a weird way.
Oh no. Have to charge soon.
No, wait. I can't do this without you.
It's just a practice run. The real competition doesn't start until tomorrow. And I'll be fully charged by then. Just remember what we practiced together. And you'll do great.
I'm sorry. There's a practice run when the real competition is tomorrow. Really? Are you genuinely being serious right now? Anyways, let's continue.
Just remember. Speak slowly. Breathe. And be confident in yourself. I love you.
I love you too, Alice.
She has to charge? Let's go.
What? She's a robot? I always knew there was something off with that girl.
Okay, I'm sorry. First of all, how was that the first thing that came to her mind? Remember, this is happening in the modern day, where robots, like, yeah, they do exist, and we've seen some models, but models that are this realistic, they're basically almost way too similar to humans. They do not exist. This isn't like the 2030s or the 2040s, where maybe this is a thing. This is the 2020s. We're still in 2025 here, people. And yet, nope. They immediately say robots. That's the first thing that come to your mind? Anyways, let's continue, huh?
I've got the perfect plan.
Thank you, everyone, for participating in the prep. Our final competition will begin tomorrow. Good job, everybody. Get a good night's sleep. Hey, Martha. Thought you did exceptionally well.
You don't have to worry about Martha anymore.
We took care of Alice. Without her, Martha doesn't stand a chance.
Oh my gosh. Alice, what happened?
It would cost way too much to fix her. And besides, it would take me all night to reprogram her. And I've already gotten all the data I needed.
Oh no, you.
How is her body working? The more this goes on, the more I question how this works. The more I question how this works. Anyways, let's continue.
Help her, Dad. You have to.
Oh my gosh, can you keep it down? I can't hear my game. What's wrong with you?
This is what's wrong with me. Between the two of you, it's always work and video games, work and video games. Mom held this family together. And ever since she died, it feels like all the love in this family died with her. Love is what makes life worth living, not work or video games or anything else. Neither of you even noticed how depressed I've been the last year, or that I've been getting bullied in school, or that I dropped out of the poetry competition today. But Alice did. She's the only one who made me feel loved. Now she's gone too.
I used some your mom's emotions and memories when I programmed Alice, so I get how you feel that way.
Great. So I got to lose Mom all over again. Maybe Mom was the only one who ever loved me.
Oh no.
We need to go now.
But I'm sorry. Wasn't it day? What? First of all, she wrote it at night, and then I suddenly see sunlight, and then after that, it's night again. Has this been a whole day? Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Please, 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 please. Please don't do this, okay? Just talk to us.
Why should I? The only people in this world who love me are gone.
We love you.
Sorry we didn't show it. I'm so sorry, Martha. We love you so much.
When we lost your mom, I didn't know how to be a good parent like she was. So I threw myself into my work to provide for you two. And I used it to bury the pain.
And you're right. I should have been a better brother. You know, I should have looked out for you. And I miss hanging out with you too. I just used video games as a distraction since Mom died. I didn't want to deal with any of it.
But I promise we'll never make you feel unloved again. The thing that really matters is that we have each other.
Please, please, please calm down. We can't lose you too. Please calm down.
The world may tremble, but I stand still. In vast ocean with waves of will. Unbreakable, fierce, and true. I'm everything that I need to be and more than you knew.
All right. Great job. Now, unfortunately, our final contestant, Martha, cannot be found. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to disqualify.
Wait!
Looks like I'm.
Does it have to be last minute? Like, honestly, at this point, I would rather her be there from the beginning than her coming in last minute, because this trope has been done so many times, I'd rather Dhar Mann subvert it. Anyways.
Give her a round of applause.
It's like English class all over again. Don't choke.
After loss, it felt like love was gone. I was alone and afraid of each new dawn. But love will find you in even the darkest places, in songs, in sunny days, in familiar faces.
We are so proud of you, Martha. That poem was beautiful.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, I couldn't have done it without your guys' help, especially Alice's.
Anyone want to go grab a bite to eat? And then maybe we can head down to the arcade?
Or I was thinking maybe we could catch a movie, just like old times.
I don't know why we're doing this. We didn't do anything.
We have security footage of you girls damaging a valuable science experiment. You're going to the station. Come on.
I mean, even if it isn't a science experiment, you could technically say that that what they did to Alice isn't that technically destruction of property? That's technically is because she is the dad's property and they damaged her. So yeah, destruction of property is it, huh? Anyways, let's continue. Okay, here's one thing I hate about this video. The fact that they do a lot of things that don't make sense. First of all, let's talk about Alice, because the problem with her is a problem that happens with honestly a lot of movies and media in general when they introduce a character that's supposed to be a full-on robot. Which is that you begin asking questions. Like, for example, wait, how much of her is just a robot and how much of her is a human? How does she heal? How is she repaired? Does she repair naturally like a normal human, or does she need care? Like, you see what I mean? A lot of questions rise up, and most of the time when media does the whole robots thing, they do it in a way that makes sense right away, or they do it in a way where they slowly but surely make sure that you understand how the stuff works. This here is not the case. Like, I can genuinely ask many questions. And second of all, the pacing. Like, you're telling me that, what was her name again? Like, Martha, right? Oh, yeah, Martha. So, you're telling me Martha went from writing a goodbye letter, basically, to the day when her dad and her brother found out, and then tonight again. How is she not dead already? Genuinely, how? You're telling me she's been hesitating the entire day? Because, you know what, I might as well check for the sake of it, because I'm making a big claim here. So, wait, after that, around here. Let's see. Okay, it's night, remember this, it's now night. Wait. Okay, I was the one in the wrong, wasn't I? I guess it wasn't date then, huh? Yeah, sometimes I can be the one in the wrong, huh? But like, okay. So I'll give them this. At least I was the one who was wrong when it comes to the timeline. Like, okay, it's still at night, it hasn't been a full day like I thought. Okay, perfect. But like, do they really have to intervene at the last moment? Like, really? Either make them intervene early so that she doesn't even have the chance, or make them intervene late and she's dead. Like, of course, the second one would never happen because you cannot have a main character be lost before such an event. But like, why do you have to make it so that every time it's the last bit of moments that if they came just a little later, she would have already done it? Genuinely, why? Genuinely, why? Just tell me why. And also the nosebleed, like, really? You're telling me a hit with a small ball made the girl bleed all over her face from her nose? Do I even need to mention how unbelievable it is? Especially because it seems the ball is made of plastic. It isn't even made of hard plastic or like hard leather. I don't know what balls or the football balls or basketballs are usually made of, but like, you know what I mean. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. On the left is my most recent video. On the right is a video that YouTube recommends, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.